Ah,
Ah,
well.
hello.
Hello.
So time for the new episode of Karthritis, right?
I mean, I don't care. We could just call this the background convo episode.
All right, then it's decided.
The podcast on the side. So can you guys lead me through what is footsies?
The concept or the game?
Yes.
You know the concept, right?
No?
Okay, it's the battle for the space in front of you, basically.
Zarkov, the boomer that he is, couldn't explain footsies properly. It's a fighting game, but a simple one. That's it. It's not much more to it. Best of 3. You fight. There's not much. Yeah, that's it, Zarkov. Come on, how hard can it be?
Well, all right. You want to get smacked by a keyboard warrior? All right, that's fine too.
Wait, do we have any unexpected guest to the
Something's not.
improv podcast?
We
Kappa?
have a lurker.
Can't you hear me?
You're very low.
Oh, he's
Maybe I need to just
I
like,
tend to
Of
up
course
him.
I'm very low.
yeah. What's Dutch audio? Oh, hello. It's a real party here.
It's a party now.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Well, in that case, I think it's time to start, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Sar Boomer is just gonna take ages to set up anyways, so.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the new Karthritis episode, Zoomer edition.
Are you recording?
I'm
Let's
glad
go.
you're all here.
No, you're not.
Finally, we have the better audio setup. This time, audio levels will be equal, as they should be.
Shots
Plenty.
fired.
Oh, that was actually horrible. I have no retort.
Fun little side note, Zarkov was the only one in the whole episode who kept moving away and closer to his microphone, so none of his audio levels are actually good. And since they're all on the same track, because that's how Discord rolls, I can't fix that. So, everyone's good, audio level wise, except Zarkov. Alright, moving on. So, obviously we have to open here with the round question, as that's what we do.
Are you?
So
you
let's
should
start
be
with the
recording.
bottom
Ruben.
here.
I mean,
Let me
first-
stop you right there.
First, you have to welcome the people of the world.
No,
No, oh no,
he
we
always
don't do
skips that. And then,
What?
like, way
Uh,
later into the episode,
oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hello, people of Earth. We always like we you gave a little tease of the show, but you don't introduce anyone. That's the classic. So you're just spending like 3 to 5 minutes, if you're Neil, having no idea who these people are. It's a classic.
I approve.
Good.
Surely everybody recognizes your voice, Goomba.
Ah.
Please carry on.
Right. Yes. Okay. Let me get back into this. Where were we? I'll have to check in my book of bullshitus to see where I was.
The alleged book of bullshitus.
Right.
Make sure to flick some pages at the microphone, so it makes it.
Come
extra
on, those
convincing.
pages were crisp and real.
Hold on. Alright, here we go. I have some stuff here. You guys hearing this?
So it's very simple. It's a 1v1. Oh, the pages.
This confirms the book, in case you didn't know.
I'm actually using the real Book of Karthritis as a microphone stand at the moment.
The real alleged book of Karthritis.
Right, so Zarkov, since you're in the mood right now,
Yeah.
so I've got this beautiful question here. What's a really popular game everyone seems to love, but you don't?
Oh. First thing that pops to mind is probably GTA.
Mm.
Because I liked the first one on PC, and I like slightly enjoyed the third one, which was PS2 or something. But midway through the third one, I just this is for everyone else, not me.
So have you played San Andreas?
Yes, that one I have played because my I bought a PS2 at some point that was modded, and it had San Andreas as a modded game. So I've played that for like 20, 30 hours. And it did not enough for me.
Well, that's just I mean,
Wrong.
it's
is it?
an unpopular opinion, for sure.
I'd
but
say
it's-
so.
Exactly, a correct for the
Yeah.
answer, right?
It will do.
Like if the answer was TV shows, my reply would be Game of Thrones. I've seen
Oh,
4
Oof.
seasons, and yeah, it's just
I think you'll find that the popular answer on these shores is The Big Bang Theory. Because everyone
Oh.
shits on that.
yeah. But how could that be a correct answer? Because it's not popular, apparently.
It's still popular, of course it is.
No, it shouldn't be.
There you go.
Let's move on. All a little shook
my
here
turn,
by GTA, but sure. All right, Karel, hit me up.
I'm gonna shake you to the core
There's no way.
because I don't get Minecraft.
Oh, we lost Goomba.
That's it. It's over.
You took a risk asking the question.
I mean, to be honest, I could understand why, but would you want to explain?
I think my cheat out answer to this is that I'm too boomer for Minecraft.
Nobody is too boomer for Minecraft. I know many dads, all right? Many dads, very good people who who have played Minecraft a lot actually, and they love building random stuff and just exploring and collecting blocks over and over. I mean, I would honestly go as far as saying there's a little bit of everything for everyone in Minecraft.
Yeah, so I guess I wasn't. I didn't expose myself to it enough to get it. But at first glance, like I haven't not really played it that much. But at first glance, the whole visual style and it doesn't do it for me.
Ah, yes, you need the high quality shaders, Mgramp fix, as Lafango would say.
I need the SMK graphics, man.
The graphics.
I need that pop up. I need to turn around the corner and be surprised that suddenly a pipe appears.
Right.
That's what
Yes, and have terrible collision. And we'll
You also need give up.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't do that shit in Minecraft.
I mean, we'll
maybe
get
you
on
can,
the
I don't know.
shitting on SMK part later, as is now part of Karthritis.
I think it's Jarm0u's
Yeah.
turn now. She's still here.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously? It is in fact your turn.
So the game I hate that everyone loves, or I don't like that everyone
Yeah.
loves.
It's not a Barker question.
No, I'll probably go with every Street Fighter or versus
Oh,
Ooh.
sorry,
battle
God.
game. I know.
And this while there's footsies happening.
This is great, actually. I just insulted Goomba's favorite game of all time, and you just attacked Zarkov's game of all time. So high five.
High
Yeah,
five.
I guess
No,
I
it's
did you,
just,
Carol.
it's just well, do I care to elaborate or
Oh yes, please.
I don't even know how to say this. It's just I don't think. Oh my God, he's so going to kill me. There are so many combinations and so many things, but even if you know every combination, you can still have an opponent who will just randomly smash all the buttons and still beat you. Well, it doesn't interest me. I don't know. Even with Mortal Kombat 3rd, I was all the time playing the secret Space Invader games instead of the actual Mortal Kombat game. And same goes for every battle game ever.
Wait, but I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile your dislike of fighting games with the fact that you compete in the best fighting game for the SNES?
Okay.
In the best fighting game for the what?
Super Mario Kart. Of course.
Yeah. Well, I guess fighting with a cart is funnier than fighting with your fists. Except when it's 3 a.m. in Anthem.
Zarkov, I have a question for you. Do you have any hair left? Or did you pull it all out now?
It's done. That was it.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I can honestly agree with this.
Thank you.
It's not gonna be my take on this question, but I do actually agree.
Go any further. Could you please press record?
Zarkov,
Oh,
could you move a few rooms closer to the microphone?
Press record, boys.
I'm already one step ahead of you, boy.
Wow.
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 You think that this footsie session was not going to get recorded?
I mean,
I mean, if you ever manage to actually, get the game running, because clearly
the game is
that's
running.
it's a bit.
I'm
Well, then
waiting
play with your
for
keyboard.
I have succumbed to that. Yes.
My question to Zarkov is, will setting up the controller take longer or shorter than setting up your microphone?
Oh no.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Come on.
Like right at the end of the episode, he finally gets it working.
And then you get one game of footsies, and it's just me beating Sargoth, and that's it. End of the night.
That's,
He's playing with a
I
keyboard.
mean, that's
No
enough
Johns.
footsies for the night.
So Goomba, your answer?
Right. I mean, I made the rookie mistake of not thinking about my answer beforehand. I only thought
You
of the
shouldn't do
question.
that. That's not allowed.
So I think I will go with. Oh, there's so many options actually. I'm gonna go with Among Us.
Oof.
Oh.
Oof. Everybody gets shot now.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I could hit at least one person here. I honestly, I do not like the whole concept of, oh, there's just like these two people who are like bullshitting their way through, because it comes down to, at least in my opinion, comes down to knowing everything there is about the game. So like noobs, you can immediately like trash as soon as you question them properly. Whereas like as an imposter, you can also pretty much play them pretty easily because you kind of have an idea of where everyone is, where everyone should have been, or where everyone should be. So only once you have a full team of equal knowledge players can it be fun, and even then it's often like very try hard,
Equal
where
quality,
people will
please.
just get angry and they're like, oh no, that's sus, like everything is sus. It just doesn't seem like any fun to me. It just doesn't, like, once you have a baseline on someone too, they're pretty easy to read. I don't know. I do not like the concept. I didn't like Murder. I didn't like Trouble in Terrorist Town. I didn't like this.
As someone who has played a lot of Mafia and who really
Or
enjoys it,
Mafia.
I appreciate what Among Us is trying to do as a social deduction game, but not as good as Mafia.
I mean, Mafia has like different kinds of roles as well, right? It's just a more simplified version.
Yeah,
except
but
you can
so
walk
like
around.
basically what happens with Among Us and like all these other video games that try to be in the same style is they have all these gameplay elements to them that detract from the social deduction aspect, and you kind of just got something in between the two that to me is less fun than just one or the other.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Yeah.
I think now we just need Lafango to trash Super Mario Kart, and everyone's favorite game has been trashed.
Oh,
Well, the thing is, I feel like there are some really cheap options I could go for, like Mario Kart Wii.
true.
But I'd rather not go for that.
Yeah.
And instead, I also don't like really hate any games. I can't think of a game that I really hate that isn't just like a game that's objectively bad. So
What about Iggy's Wrecking Balls?
that game is objectively bad.
Sure, yeah.
So
And nobody
fun.
likes it, so there's not really the answer to the question.
Exactly. I would say, generally speaking, the N64.
Yes,
It's the whole
Fine.
thing.
He just fired the whole library.
single clap.
Just like there are certain specific N64 games that I can appreciate because they are so good that they go beyond the deficiencies of the N64. But as someone who didn't grow up playing the N64 or any games or consoles from that generation, I cannot get over the 3D graphics. Like the early primitive 3D graphics, they're not for me. So there are definitely certain N64 games that I can enjoy, like Smash Bros, Mario Kart 64, like the really best of the best. But generally speaking, like it's just a really big negative for me that I think a lot of people see with rose-tinted glasses. And yeah, I just don't like them.
I think that's
I'm
a
surprised
great
you
shout-out.
said graphics instead of like controls and the controller.
Oh, I mean the N64 controller is also garbage, but that's something that's more generally accepted.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I wanted to like be more about the controversial part. Like people
Right.
say that Super Mario 64 looks good. I disagree.
Oh yeah.
Like the
Right,
game
yeah.
the game has really tight controls. I'm ignoring the N64 controller. And it's a really good game, so it's still something you can enjoy, or that I would be able to enjoy, despite its graphical deficiency. But that doesn't change the fact that it doesn't look good.
I also I have to agree with this too. Guess I hate a lot of games.
But the N64, the more times I think about it, or having watched Patrick play it, my thought of making like a top 10 list for N64 is dwindling down to like a top 3 because there's not really 10 games I fondly remember anymore. It's not aging well. That's the easiest sentence to make, of course, but it probably was never that good. Yeah.
And what it really is
I
just
really-
a prototype to the GameCube.
I really do think that the Super Nintendo aged better than the
Oh.
N64 by
I agree.
quite a
by
margin.
far, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It probably aged the best out of all the 90s consoles.
I wouldn't be able to answer that. I'm a zoomer.
So are both these characters supposed to be Patrick?
Yes.
They need more tank top, to be honest.
He's just going he's just going commando on this one. Wearing a bandana.
Actually, okay, so real quick, should I actually like record video for this? Because I mean, I could.
I doubt it.
No, it's not worth it.
Not worth
Zarkov is
it?
just gonna get crushed.
Dang. Harsh words. How do you respond, Sargoth?
By kicking his face, I guess.
He's so focused. You just open a drink and immediately.
Open a cold
Go
one.
ahead. Ask your
Guess which
question.
beer was that? By
That was a
hearing
trade.
the
All
name.
right. So my question is, we talk a lot about the great fun we have when we meet each other, and all the good times we have. And my question is, what is the worst gaming meet you've been to?
Wow, that's tough.
Oh, I don't like my answer.
So like worst gaming meet, as in
As in your personal experience
right? Okay.
at that gaming meet.
Is there anyone specifically you want to start with?
I am
Mr.
asking the
Laffy?
field. Since you asked, you can go first,
Hmm.
and we'll make our way down.
Right. Okay. Classic. So I haven't been to that many, but I know like the one easily, which was the one time you, Chris, and I went to BSG.
Oh god.
I will never
Yes.
forgive what they have done, which is I wanted to do a run of Double Dash with Lafungo's commentator, because obviously, I mean, I'm going to be playing. I can do decent-ish commentary while playing, but I mean, I kind of also want to play well. So in any case, I wanted like at least 2 headsets. I mean, that should be possible, right? 2 headsets. Any marathon should at least have 2 headsets. So I got into the room after like there was already like some weird
Facing
stuff
boys.
going on. Then they were like slapping me around because like, oh, put this thing on. Oh, it's not working. Put this thing on. Okay. Here's the TV. The TV looked like a little screen from a microwave. It looked horrible. It was like warped and like bending in the corners. And then they were like, "All right, let's hear for Mario Kart Double Dash." And I'm like, "What?" Like I can he not get like look because Lafungo was sitting right behind me, looking at me like, "What's going on?" Like, am I not gonna get a headset? And then they just started a Double Dash, and that was it. I mean, I don't know if you remember anything else from that, Lafungo.
I remember saying shout-outs to donations
Right.
for a great cause.
Oh yeah, it got worse.
Once I was finally given a microphone for the Mario Kart 64 run by Chris Wilde just afterwards,
Yeah.
and there was a donation, and I said shout-outs to or thanks for the donations for a great cause, and that cause, of course, being Dark Souls file names, because someone had like sent in a troll donation to say like Fungo sucks as like the Dark Souls file name or something like that. And as I said that, immediately afterwards, the tech crew or like the people in
Yeah.
charge who were at like computers who basically Chris Wilde and the couch were facing one direction, and the opposite, just behind the TV, were the computers where the people running BSG were and running the stream, and so they were sitting facing towards us, and they had not been paying attention to the run, I'm pretty sure, but they heard that, and they just like got up and glared at me right over
Gave you the stink eye.
their monitors.
Yeah.
Like they just like you see their eyes like just above the line of the computer, and they just glared at me.
Oh yeah.
You know that Luigi Dead Stare
Yeah.
thing?
It was honestly
that's
that.
that's basically how they were looking at Lafongo.
It
pretty
was,
much.
It was so funny to see because I was laughing my ass off at the same time because I was already done with this show, and I mean like done with the whole BSG in general. Like I could hear it say that. I thought it was funny. It was a funny joke. All right, it was a good joke, well timed. Nothing like no feelings should be hurt. But then they all were looking as if they just like dropped like 10,000 F-bombs live on stream. I don't know what was going on.
My best explanation as to what was going on is that they really wanted to be GDQ as badly as possible, and they had a giant stick up their asses.
Yep.
For trying to be so.
And the funny part about that was that they all would always praise their tech somehow. It doesn't matter who it was, but they would always praise their tech, and always there would be something wrong. They'd be like, "Oh, we can instantly switch here. We'll change this audio. We can change this," but they would never change it properly. The audio was always imbalanced. If you gave a run, you couldn't hear yourself very well.
Hey, but let me interrupt you real
Yeah,
quick.
go for it.
All of them are Dutch.
Well, I mean, fair point, I guess.
That explains everything.
Yeah. Yet I still hope to be a trendsetter, as in good Dutch audio. I hope that will be a thing one day, where Dutch audio will not be seen as a sign of incompetency, but as a sign of greatness.
You're gonna have to kill me then.
I have a feeling I might have to wait a few decennia, yes.
Have to ice a few skulls, I think, but you can get there.
All right, well,
Jarm0u.
Jarm0u.
The worst meat gaming
The worst
meat,
gaming meet you've been to,
specifically, yes.
based on your personal
Evo,
experience.
probably.
What did you say? What did you say, Sargoth?
Oh, I was making a joke about Evo, the greatest
Oh.
gaming tournament in the world, but it's fighting.
Yeah, no, I've never been there, of course. No, it's quite hard to say because I don't have any specific bad memories or experiences. So the worst I could maybe say, knowing that the day was amazing and I had a lot of fun and I was glad to be there, but actually could be, well, you know, the day after Smacka's ended, I was supposed to go to Strasbourg to co-host a video game festival, and it was great, except that I slept like 2 hours, and I had the entire week of Smacka's on my shoulders, so I was just destroyed from the inside, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was doing or saying, and I was supposed to co-host a show with Nishan, and I was just, you know, smiling and waving because I had no idea what smart things I could say. And also, yeah, I was supposed to make a Super Mario World run, speed run, a short one. And 5 minutes before we went live, the CRT died.
Oh no.
So they backed me up with a flat screen.
Oh,
so
no.
obviously there was a lag, and so obviously the speed run was a disaster, and everything looked like excuse de sac. But well, it wasn't, of course. It was really just the CRT that killed the thing. But yeah, I think it's the fatigue and the CRT dying that made it like a bad experience. But it wasn't. I was super glad to see everybody, and I beat Nishan on Street Fighter 2, and still I played this game because I randomly smashed on every button, while my son is like super highly ranked player. So that's ridiculous, and that's why this game is ridiculous too. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, I think that's it. But one more time, I had a wonderful time in Strasbourg, but just my physical state was not at it.
All right. Well, let's move on with this genius question, Lafongo. Great question. As co-host of the Zoomer show,
Yes.
I must say,
My pleasure.
doing a fantastic job here. All right, Karel, what is your worst gaming meet?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say DreamHack 2018, where actually I went with Patrick and Lafongo, and still I would say that the overall experience was a net positive. I definitely enjoyed playing Overcooked together with them, the 4-player co-op run, also with Patrick Nilsson, Swedish guy that since moved to China. But
Is he actually living in China now?
yeah. He's
That guy
I
is
think he's married now or getting married to his Chinese girlfriend. So
very interesting guy, but that's besides
yeah,
the point.
absolutely. Fun fact about that is when we went out, that was during that meet actually, to a restaurant. He got approached on the street, on the sidewalk. Someone wanted his autograph, and we and he didn't even flinch. He was like, it was like completely everyday business for him, and we were like, what?
Wait, like, is he a popular speedrunner, or who is this person?
He's a connoisseur, actually, within foods, wine, coffee, whatever have you.
Yeah, he's a vinologist. I don't know how you pronounce
Oh, okay, yeah.
it. Yeah,
Sommelier.
Also,
sommelier, exactly.
he has all the world records, I think, in Mickey's Speedway or something.
But I'm pretty sure none of that makes him street famous.
No.
So I'm still a bit confused. But we didn't get an explanation when we asked. He's like, yeah, it's just normal. It's pretty much the vibe that we were getting.
Wow.
No, I think it's the taste tester thing. It has to be. It's pretty big, actually, in that.
So my best guess
What in
still
the ass, Lafongo?
is that he looks a lot like Jude Law, the actor. There are some pictures you can put side to side, and it's obvious that he really looks a lot like him. So maybe he just gets confused for Jude Law. That's my best guess. Anyway, that's not why I mentioned DreamHack 2018. So I've been to DreamHack speedrunning events. So speedrunning is a small part of DreamHack, right? It's
Yeah.
it's like one of the events that happen, and it's a relatively niche one at that. They usually get organized by the guys that do or used to do the European Speedrunner Assembly.
Right.
And we started out the first year we did DreamHack speedruns. We started out having quite a nice stage, and then 1 year later, it got demoted a little bit. So we had one corner dedicated to us. And in 2018, it felt like we were moved into the broom cabinet of the venue. So it's basically just crap tucked away in a crappy little corner right at the entrance. And well, that was not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem was that the guys running the show were absolutely clueless.
Oh.
I'm sorry if you're listening to this. Probably the chances are low, but so
Don't
the
worry
worst
about it.
instance, the very worst instance that happened is that so they didn't have a physical separation of the power blocks that were feeding into the stream and that people were using, that were just attending the speedrunning section. And during a speedrun that actually Perfect Taste, so Patrick Nilsson we were just talking about, he was doing a Diddy Kong Racing speedrun, and he was well on the way, like 20 minutes in or something. And the guy that did the tech, I'm not even kidding, the guy that did the tech unplugged the console that he was using to plug in his phone charger.
No way.
And that was absolutely not the first instance, but by far it was the worst instance of them failing.
How?
It also took 45 minutes to set up our audio for Overcooked. It was just bad.
How is that possible? Like, did they not look at least like where the cable leads to? If you're gonna
he was fiddling around there for a few minutes already, and we were like, "Oh, damn, this is not looking good." And He picked the wrong plug.
So what happened? Did you guys just like replug and like what happened to the run?
Well, the run he redid the run because obviously when the console is out,
Yeah.
you have to reset. So yeah,
But like at least he was allowed to, like reset the entire
he was
run.
allowed to do the run again, but he was pretty tilted as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Because he was having a really good run actually.
Oh my lord, dude.
It was that's definitely the worst.
I would also like to mention, to add to the story,
Yes.
that as soon as the run restarted and Patrick Nielsen was like underway again, the same person started fiddling with the plugs again
Oh, no.
immediately afterwards, so that he could plug in his phone charger.
Why?
And this was the guy responsible for the tech. So you can imagine.
I don't get it. How's that guy there? Why?
No, neither do we. There is just no explanation.
Maybe that should just be. Well, okay. Was he a volunteer? Did they have volunteers there, or did they have like actually people on a paycheck?
No,
It's just volunteers.
Right. Okay. I mean, if so, if that wasn't the case, I'd be like, all right, I'm signing up to be tech guy. Like, I can't do much worse than that guy. That's should be decent.
No, you can't.
Slow stakes.
And another bad experience I had, which probably would rank in as number 2 or even number 1, was also at DreamHack Speedrun, I think the year prior, where obviously you're not allowed to drink alcohol inside the venue or use drugs. I mean, it makes sense. So we, one of the evenings, we decided to have a drink in the hotel across the street. We literally had one beer, and when we were exiting the hotel to, get back into the venue to spend the night,
Yeah.
I could just walk past the security unchecked, but they stopped Patrick, and the girl was smelling his breath, and it's like, no, you're not getting back in. And Patrick had one beer.
Wow.
They did not alcohol test him, but they just flat out refused him access to the venue, even though all our stuff was there, and we were traveling back the next day. So Patrick was no longer allowed to get in. We had an entire discussion like, how can you tell if you don't have an alcohol detector, blah blah blah. But eventually, as soon as we started pushing for an explanation, she just straight out called up security, and there was these big blokes coming, and just like, okay, no, you have to fuck off. So we had to spend the night outside the venue, and
What?
yeah, that was not good. So what we ended up doing is we got our stuff. So Patrick was no longer allowed in, but I just collected his stuff,
Yeah.
and then we just went to the airport to travel home. So we
Wow.
ended up sleeping at the airport.
Jesus.
So that was also pretty bad.
Did you guys like not like make a report of that or something?
Come again?
Like, could you not like make a report of that or like contact like the Dream?
Oh, I sent them an
admins or
angry
whatever?
email after. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave up. I gave the names, the details. I burned them to the ground.
Yeah.
Because if this happens thankfully it was summer, but if this happened in the winter, and winters in Sweden can get pretty cold, I'm told. So this would have been really bad, actually.
I mean, exactly.
Just being
Like,
dumped on the streets at
yeah.
I don't know, 1 a.m. or whatever.
Well, like you didn't have alcohol on you. You just had one beer.
No, we really had one drink. I'm not even kidding.
Like oh my! I'm getting mad triggered listening to that.
I think it's worse than DreamHack Winter.
Yeah, so I'm saying I picked DreamHack Winter because that directly impacted the video gaming part. But this experience as overall definitely was worse. Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, let's we saved the best for last. Zarkov, hit us up. Worst gaming meet.
Go ahead, Sarboomer.
Oh,
Tell him why the worst part was just losing this game of footsies.
yeah, this has been the worst game meeting. Actually, I haven't been to any that have been a net negative, I think. I think I would have to mention 2. One of them being the 2018 NLG Retro Challenge, which, I mean, it probably wasn't bad, but we were all dead done after hitting a snowstorm at the top of Galdhøpiggen, the highest mountain in Norway.
Yeah, that was quite something.
So the schlep back down was, let's put it, rough, and I think me and Carol got the best of it. I heard Yvonne was using like jogging shoes because Patrick didn't tell her they were going there.
But I had to drag Yvonne down the mountain, so I was home just before dark.
You did that part, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ulf carried Patrick on his shoulders for part of the trek down, I heard.
Yeah.
So it got real bad, and the next day we're supposed to have this big retro challenge tournament. And it just all fizzled out in the end. We were all too tired. We did some of it, and then let's just recuperate, huh? So that's not a big meeting, and I have never been to one of the big ones. But the one I had the least fun at was probably, and Carol, you need to help me with the specifics, but it was the NLG Mini in, where was it? Game Zone? No, what was the name of the...
Oh, I think you probably mean Awesome Space.
Awesome Space, that's the one, yeah.
Oh god, not much can
That
happen
one-
there.
Didn't quite sit right with me with the whole...
That was on the cusp of NLG turning into BSG.
Yes,
There were
exactly.
already some frictions for sure.
Yeah. Okay, there were some cool people there, but in general, it was just an uncomfortable feeling in the entire room. And the guys running the show, although maybe qualified, I wouldn't know, just was not a good feel. Which eventually turned into the BLG guys taking over, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, the less said about that, the better. But I want to take you back
Yeah.
to the first mention,
Sure.
because there is a lot to tell about that mountain climb. And
Yeah.
apart from being woefully underprepared, indeed.
Oh yeah.
Patrick and Yvonne basically went up the mountain in their summer clothes, and that could have worked out, sort of, if the weather stayed nice. But we got hit by a blizzard.
A pretty
middle of
convincing
summer.
one.
A
At
slight
that.
problem.
And at,
What
the,
time
at,
of year
at
was
some
this?
point, like I think we were probably 10, 20 minutes away from the peak, from the end goal. But vision was 3 meters.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
So we're
if
like,
that-
even if we reached the top, it wouldn't look different from where we were standing
No.
currently.
it would just
We
be
would
white
see
still.
absolutely nothing, and it would only cause the return journey to be more perilous and longer. So we decided to turn around way too late, and I felt really sorry for Patrick and Yvonne because they didn't have the proper footwear, and Yvonne was like, she was completely broken. She couldn't
Do
see,
you wanna-
she couldn't envision herself getting down anymore.
Do you
So,
want to
Jeez.
take 2 minutes to go back to the pre-me leaving Holland part? So I was visiting Holland. I don't remember why. Probably a Persephone concert, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
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 And after the concert, you, Carol, were following me to the airport, which is unusual. I don't think you've ever done that, but that was part of the lure, the trap. And
I think I
Patrick-
picked you up at an airport once holding a special sign, but carry
that
on.
is true. I have very fond memories of that. So whenever I get out of an airport now, past the security check, and you get into this whole main area where people stand with signs, I'm just slightly looking for Carol with a sign and a big grin on his face saying "Car wash cunt" on the sign, which was
Interesting.
it was for me back in, I don't know, 2012 or something.
Back when
It's,
you
it's
still
a
looked
Curb Your
young.
Enthusiasm inside joke, by the way. It's,
Yeah.
It's not just something I made up on the spot.
But I'm imagining all the other people who went past. Okay, I'm looking for someone. Let's see, what does this sign say? Car wash cunt. No, that's
You know,
probably not me.
I have to admit, I was self-conscious about holding the sign, so I didn't hold it up until we were inside.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, so what happened was Carol, Patrick, and Yvonne have followed me to the airport because somehow I'm mentally damaged and cannot get myself through a bus or train or something. And was it at the airport or just before that Patrick said, "Surprise, Yvonne, we're going to Norway"? So she didn't know. She didn't pack. Patrick knew all about it, but she came with nothing, basically. And on top of that, though, the bags got lost at the airport, or
Oh, that's another part of that meet that went wrong. Right.
yeah, somewhere on the flight.
Missing the connecting flight too, I think.
Oh my.
Weren't
Was
we
there
delayed for
anything
like
that went
12 hours?
well?
That's right. We went through Stockholm like a 12-hour delay thing.
And then we had to run for our connecting flight.
Yeah.
And see, this is what happens when I travel. It's like every time something bad happens, except it's never bad health-wise, thankfully, but something bad happens.
What
We had to
happened
run.
was-
We basically had to run for our connecting flight
Yeah.
because it left 40 minutes later or something.
Oh, you
And
guys
we
were
asked the
sprinting.
guys at security when we got to the gate of our connecting flight, like, can our luggage actually be transferred physically in this small window, or is our luggage just not gonna arrive? And it's like, nah, it's fine. It never goes wrong. And I'm like, I
that's
don't
a
know.
Big
It's
red
It's an
flag
awfully
right there.
small window. But
Yeah.
sure, we just have to go on board.
Yep.
When we landed, sure enough, no luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were already massively delayed. So what happened was the next day we just had to sort of go directly to the Gullipigan Resort.
Oh, but you're skipping over the part that we landed close to midnight.
Yeah.
You had arranged for an airport pickup, but of course, not being the only passengers on the flight, people not having luggage, we had to get in line to, notify the airline that our luggage wasn't there.
Right.
So that also took an hour. So I think we
Yes.
ended up leaving the airport at 1 a.m.
Yeah, yeah.
after in the morning getting to Schiphol at 7 or 8.
Oh,
So
we
that
were-
was a long day.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude. How is this event still net positive? I do not understand.
Well, this was a gathering of 6 Mongoloids having fun with games and mountains. I mean, it was great fun.
And we almost did a moose.
Yeah, that was great fun for you. To me, it's Tuesday. I don't.
That's like the biggest wild animal I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah, I had a
Oh,
bigger reaction
I
to the.
guess it is bigger than Drew.
Oh yeah. So Zarkov hit the brakes really hard because we weren't planning to drive back in the dark, but obviously our descent of this mountain took way longer than expected.
Oh yeah.
So we had to drive back in the dark, which is never a good idea in Norway, I think.
No.
So Zarkov hit the brakes hard, and he said, "There's a moose there," and I couldn't see the moose. But then I looked over in the side of the road, and there's just this. It's like a giraffe without a long neck. That's how big it was.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
And
pretty
if
fucked up.
we would have
when
hit
you see
that, we would have had a massive problem.
big headache.
Yeah.
So that was the start of the tournament, yeah. And because we had so little time after landing, Ivona had no chance to even. Well, we stopped somewhere and bought some clothing, but she didn't have any shoes or any jacket, or it was just improv mountaineering. Thanks to Patrick wanting this to be a surprise to Ivona. She was not too happy.
That
Yeah, but
sounds
it was
very
also
Patrick.
it was also supposed to be a casual hike because I also distinctly remember being passed by a group of Norwegian kids climbing up the mountain.
That happened, yeah.
Are we?
To be fair, though, they were there at camp, so they have scaled the mountain like 3 days prior as well.
Yeah, and when we saw their team of supervisors make the decision to return,
Yeah.
that's when we okay, we should probably also return at this point.
Do you remember the narrow path where there's like 50 centimeters on each side?
Yes, I remember that, and I remember I think it was Ulf that came up to me looking like wide-eyed because
Yeah.
he was a little bit in front of us, and he said, "Dude, I wasn't ready to face my own mortality this trip."
That's exactly
Wow.
his sentence. I recall that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that because, of course, he said it with such a, intensity. He wasn't kidding.
Oh, we have a.
Who's here?
I guess.
we have bad audio. Greetings, Zarkov.
What the fuck's going on?
You've arrived just in time. There's
Oh,
a,
answer a question.
Fine. Nice.
there's a question for you.
Go on.
So, we talk a lot about all the fun and great times we have at game meets, but
Right.
what is the worst game meet you have attended as far as personal experience?
Oh, I don't know. I think it would have to be one of Sami's ones.
The Bip versus Swartjes thing.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. I remember having to sleep on the floor and then waking up and seeing Marius's gooch above my head when he was dead.
What? Oh, you slept on the floor outside the top room.
Yeah, I didn't know you were
That's
in.
right. That's right. I got a bed and all. I was not feeling high and mighty, but seeing Clark at the floor outside my door, I had to reassess.
I guess I'm the last person left to answer my own question.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my worst game meet experience was actually a Smash tournament. And it would take me easily an hour to give you a proper retelling of this story.
Oh, wait. Oh, I think I know.
But I will give you the condensed version. I'm not sure quite how long it'll last, but we'll see.
Turns out it wasn't as condensed as we maybe all had hoped it to be. So that will be something maybe for another episode / cut footage thing. There's a lot in this. I'm doing the best I can. All right, moving on.
You made the fatal mistake of saying that the card gods were blessing you, and then
Yeah,
shit went south immediately.
that was my mistake.
See, at this point, when I play SMK, I realize there are no card gods. There cannot be. Because
are.
any honest god would not make SMK the way they did it. That's a
Card god
cruel
was
god, and
like-
I do not respect that god, nor do I wish it to be existing.
I got rollbacked. I got rollbacked.
Would you describe yourself as a card atheist?
Yes, yes.
What?
I am a pure
Racing
Carthasiast.
boy.
It's over.
Yeah. So cart gods seem like just normal gods then, in the sense
Yeah.
that they...
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's just how gods work, though. So,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, there are card gods.
Did I ever tell you about the time when Drew came back? This was the same year that Mole abandoned Drew with me. And then we went into London and he managed to get 4 cans of like really strong beer off of someone. I don't know who. And then he demanded we climbed a tree. And I'd never seen Drew drink before. And he just necked all 4 beers in like 5 minutes. And then it was falling out the tree. And then he climbed another tree and had a piss out of it.
What?
Absolute
Come
fancy.
to think of it, I've never seen him drink. I think
it was very funny.
I think that could easily go from funny to the opposite in a short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an experience.
Right.
What is the opposite of funny?
I got a couple of suggestions.
You.
Wow, that was slow.
Well, I'll say that response right there.
I mean, that was like the obvious answer, so I
Well, it was
waited it
like,
out.
is it sad? Like being sad?
Sad and devastating.
Sad, yeah. Is it scary?
Tragic?
I'd say tragic.
Yeah,
Possibly, yeah.
yeah.
I know that Goomba and Sarboomer in particular like to rejoice in their degen-ness. And so my question is, what is the most degen thing you have done?
No. Cannot answer that. No.
All right,
Don't
how
know
about...
what degen means?
Well, all right, Sarboomer, please. Since you have refused to answer the question, you can go enlighten Zarkov.
Okay, so it's doing things that belong in a bachelor's cellar, never see the light of day type behaviors.
Depraved shit you do when you're
Sure.
with the lads, and yeah.
All right, if you
Could be
prefer,
that.
I'd like to clarify gaming related.
Okay. Okay, maybe I can actually answer them without being, cuffed up.
I've got a really good answer to this, by the way, because I've never told anyone from the cart community. But...
I mean, you can answer if you want to.
Go
it.
ahead.
Go ahead.
You can start.
Yeah, I think it was one of the ones in Les Sous, one of the CDMs in Les Sous, and I was camping, and it was on the end of one of the days. I can't remember what it was, and you know how you just drink all day and whatnot, and you eat a load of crap and whatnot. And I sort of needed. I thought I could do with a poo before I go, but I was like, I can make it back to the campsite, no probs. And then I got halfway, and I was like, this ain't happening. I have to find somewhere. And the toilet, the church halfway. I ducked behind there. Thankfully, I had some tissues in my pocket. Found a drain, did the deed, wiped my ass, and ran away. Ran back to the campsite. And yeah, that was probably my unholy degen shit.
I think that's everyday Drew.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did that. I know, like, when the need is high, the standard's lower, but that is not something I can reach, I think.
Oh, really? I mean, it's happened a few times, especially like when I've been out on a long run or something.
A few times.
Yeah, not at CDMs, but like when I've been out on a run, and it's just like, right, I'm in the middle of the countryside, and I've got no way of getting home.
It's a great view here. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I do apologize. I apologize for my grossness and all of that. But
all right, well, Zarkov, hit us up.
I can't actually think of anything really bad. I went through something in the previous episode where maybe the clearest line would be Final Fantasy 13 was that when that was released. I took 2 fake days off of work, and I managed to get past the tutorial, which is 25 hours in that game, if you will believe. It is the longest tutorial in gaming history for sure.
It's 2 discs long.
Yeah, if you played the Xbox, in which case you were wrong anyway.
Is that the Final Fantasy with lightning in it?
Yes,
Yeah.
the first
Yes,
one.
That was the tutorial. I got so bored that I just gave up.
Of course.
Same.
Yeah, everyone gave up, but I was adamant I would keep on pushing because I already faked my sickness away from work. So I played those 25 hours in a 30-hour time period.
Jesus.
Wow.
Then I had a couple hours of sleep, went back to it, and finished the game in, I don't know, 70 actual hours. While the gameplay length was like 68 or something. I just went full banana hammock. No pissing in pots or pans or anything like that, but just limiting my intake so that I wouldn't have to.
I did that for a week for Ocarina of Time, which I then played religiously and also finished in less than what would be the normal amount of time required.
Well, Kyle, if you want to.
Yeah, that was not my answer.
Yeah.
My answer will be short and to the point. It is the most degenerate thing I've done gaming-wise is install and play Pokemon Go. There you have it.
Agreed. That's definitely very
Needs no
degenerate.
further explanation, I guess, huh?
That was a fun few days when that game first came out.
It lasted longer than 2 days for me. I'm sorry.
Oh. Yeah.
Do you still play it, Kyle?
I mocked him too much for still
You were
playing
right.
it in the year, what was it, 2019? 2018 when you quit?
Dude, that's recent. Come on.
Yes.
I think it's 2018, yeah. I'm trying to make it sound less bad than it is.
It definitely took multiple months of me mocking him for it after moving into the hog.
That's inefficient mockery. You need to step up your game.
It wasn't your mockery that ended it, though. It was just the realization that I was fucking wasting my time.
That took you 2 years?
No, not 2 years.
More.
No. Like I said, it's degenerate, but it wasn't 2 years. Yeah, so I was hoping that this would be a short answer, so let's carry on.
Well, you made the problem of saying it be short. Then everyone wants to know.
That's not how Karthritis works, man.
I asked for that.
But we are on as Zoomers, and we'll move on. Jarm0u, what is your answer?
I don't know. Or maybe organizing my room in such a way that I won't have to leave my bed at all and could
Ah.
still play 3 different kinds of video games and drink and eat.
I think
That
that's a great answer.
definitely
Actually,
that definitely never happened, right?
I mean, I would love to have my room set up like that.
Yeah, me too.
You've given me a great idea. Thank you.
Well, I'll give you the tips if you want.
Thanks. The blue
Blueprint.
paper, yeah.
No, I know a few things about being lazy and playing video games. I think more than I show it, maybe.
I mean, that's the fun part of being a degen. It sounds bad, but it's pretty fun at times.
But then you question whether it's worth it.
Oh
on the
yeah,
other
yeah.
side.
That is the realization settling in later on.
I remember doing in terms of sort of like weirdly odd things. But Sensible World of Soccer on the Super Nintendo. I remember this was only a few years ago, but I wanted to find out who the best team was on there. So I made an Excel file and I simulated like loads and loads of leagues and recorded the results just so I could find out who the overall best team on Sensible Soccer was. And I remember just Holly, my girlfriend at the time, just coming back from work one day and just shaking her head at me saying like, what the fuck are you doing? It sort of just made me realise, what am I doing? Why am I doing this stuff? Turns out it's Turin or Juventus.
I'm glad that was clarified.
Yes. The world needed to know. You did a great job.
Yeah.
You said Holly though, so this is recent-ish.
Yeah, it was about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
I'd say for science.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is it the turn of the probably
Yeah,
the
sure,
realist degen here?
Degen Master.
Degen master. I'll be honest. I don't have that many degen things. Sure, I have played Double Dash, which is pretty degen. Super Mario Kart, which might be a little extra step of the degen meter. But I would say my biggest degen moment was being too degenerate for degens. So I went to SGDQ last year, and it's I mean it's fun to hang out there. I wouldn't say too much about the organization itself because there's some weird stuff going on there. It's not all great, but just being there with friends is a great time, and especially because they have an arcade there. Now the arcade is a fan favorite, so to say. A lot of people love to hang out in the arcade. There's some really amazing stuff there. So you have all the rhythm games there from like Japan. You have a Tetris the Grandmaster thingy there. There's like Puyo Puyo set up right in front of it. There's like a beer pong-ish thingy. Things like Scotto. I think it's like that. A bunch of like, things you would see at an arcade. And I mean, it's a really fun place to be because it's like its own little bubble. However, a lot of people agree with me on that, so it was really busy. So the best way to tackle that problem is to out-degen the degens. So it was, I think, around 5 a.m. We just got done from throwing a party and like drinking all night. And then instead of saying, all right, let's call it a night and get up tomorrow at a reasonable 2 p.m., we were like, all right, let's see what we can do here. So I asked who wanted to join me in the arcade, and Becca wanted to join me. And Becca and I spent like a few hours, if not more, in the arcade, where we walked out at like late morning. I think it was about to be like afternoon, something close to that, and the sun was up already, of course, but there was no one in that arcade, like maybe apart from like one or two, but there was no one there. It was great. It's fantastic. You'd almost start considering being a normie and getting up early instead of like making it the last part of your day. But I much prefer this being what I can close my day out on. So yeah, that is the strats right there. Free advice.
You remind me of.
That's Zarkov approved.
Yeah, no, very much. I'd be up early doing that.
You remind me of like an actual answer I could give to the question besides playing Pokemon Go, which is we went to European Speedster Assembly 2014, and every night ended up drinking heavily with the Swedes, and we had a hotel room there. And basically, the end of every night, we just went for the hotel breakfast and had our end of night bender food together with a normal hotel guest that just woke up.
Oh, actually,
for 1 week straight.
I've
that
done
was
the same
like
thing.
The habit that we grow into.
I would stay up the whole night, and I think eventually we got to like the airport or something, and it was like morning, and we were like, all right, we want a beer and some fries, and the guy just looked at us like, what is this? It's like 8 a.m. What are you on about? And we're like, yeah, it's been a long day.
Exactly. So I was you know him too. It's Drew Van,
Oh, yeah.
Ripmarker,
The legend.
Progen, and they were just scooping up plates of sausages and egg and just stuffing their faces completely at this quote-unquote breakfast.
Hotel breakfasts are a thing of beauty. They are just they're made for that, aren't they?
It's a continental breakfast.
Oh god, that reminds me. One time I went to London for a school trip, and they had a little breakfast there. And well, the yogurt yogurt is a big word. Watery sweet stuff was what the yogurt was. If you open that, you wouldn't want to open it first of all. But if you were to open it, the pungent smell would come out to greet you on this early morning. The bread was, I think, soggier than the what's it called, like jam, like the spread. What's it called, like fruit spread?
Yeah, jam.
Yeah, okay, yeah, jam. It definitely was soggier than that, because the jam itself was just like really hard. I don't know what was going on. Everything seems to have the wrong property. It was an absolute disaster. If you like, some of the breads were like rubber, like you could bounce them on your plate, play some basketball. You could, I think, if you were to grab the orange juice there, it wouldn't be orange anymore.
That's the thing. In Britain, we only sort of do one breakfast, and that is like fried breakfast. Anything else?
Yeah, no, they weren't having that. So it was a soggy croissant in the morning with like nothing else, because I wouldn't trust anything else there. And that was the
Sorry, can you give me a translation of that word Goomba said?
No.
Oh.
You're the French one of the bunch.
No, that's you.
I work with a French guy. Like, we're in the same workshop and stuff. And he claims that he's like a citizen of the world and stuff, but he's the most French person ever. And like he has an espresso every morning and a fresh croissant and stuff. But he couldn't believe it once that there was a vending machine selling croissants like in a bucket, like you get a bag of crisps. And he was just like, it was an assault on everything that he held dear as a Frenchman. He just, what is this? You cannot have this. It's just like, it's so funny. It's like, damn French people and their, I don't know, croissants.
Croissants, as the Godfather would say.
Croissants.
What's going to be my answer to the question was in my final year of high school. So I was in a French high school, and in the French education system, the only thing that matters up until the end of high school are your end of high school exams. And so it's like two weeks of exams on a whole bunch of different subjects, and the grades you get for those exams determine like which universities you can get into, and like set you up for success or not. And the high school I went to, I don't know if this is typical or not, but at least the high school I went to in Boston gives their seniors, so the last year of high school, gives them 2 weeks each year, like 2 weeks before the actual exams, to study and prepare for your exams. my 2 weeks were spent sat on my bed with a textbook open to a random page in my lap, and me grinding Mario Kart Super Circuit time trials.
Of all the games.
Yes.
Oh.
And that was the year, like that spring was the year I really like got good at Super Circuit.
I wonder why.
I would argue procrastination is the best tool to get good at games. It truly is. It makes you want to play the game more than you usually would. You don't want to quit because you know what you have to do if you quit the game. So you don't stop. I mean, I did the exact same thing. I had exams for high school. And bada bim, bada boom, I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles for the first time, and I grinded the shit out of the game.
Bad game.
Completely finished
that's
it.
what I should have. That should have been my answer to the first question. Xenoblade Chronicles.
No.
Oh god,
No.
that game's
no.
awful.
I'd cut that out.
That game is.
Shh,
See, look now I've got Goomba tilted. See the double tilt. I'm going to amend my answer.
Oh no, guys, we're losing him. We can't hear his answer. I'm kidding.
Which highly rated game or like generally liked game do you dislike?
Oh, Zelda Breath of the Wild, piece of shit.
Wow. Wow. All right. Well, you don't get to
Ooh.
answer the question, Zarkov.
We can keep that in.
So my real answer to the question, even more so than N64 in general, is Xenoblade Chronicles 1. That game is terrible. It has this massive fan base. They're like, oh my god, it's so cool. What a great game. No, it's
cool.
terrible.
What a great game.
It's super long. The mechanics suck.
No.
And there's a section in the game.
Before you say anything else, I have just been convinced by Gomz to pick up this game.
Okay, well, listen.
No spoilers.
The environments are really nice.
Yes.
Like the world building, the music, very
Yes.
fun, very enjoyable.
Yes.
And then you get to a spot that for me was about 40 hours into the game, 45 hours into the game.
Spoilerish.
Yeah. No, but hold on. I will minimize spoilers. I'll tell you what you need to know, which is that you enter a completely different environment in the game, and the background is incredibly dull. All the enemies are the same, and I spent quite literally 15 hours grinding for nothing. It was just garbage. It was terrible.
But how?
You're just going through this environment. It all looks the same. There's no variety in the enemies, and the combat is already the weakest part of the game. And that's all you have. All you have to do is just all you get to do is grind enemies for 15 hours, and then I reached the boss. And despite the fact that I had been grinding,
slander,
and had been like leveling up, I reached the boss and I cannot hit him. It's not even that I get killed by the boss, that I get destroyed or whatever. Literally, my attacks do not connect, and this is the first point in the game where this happens, and just nope, nothing hits, and so I spent another 3 hours grinding to be able to level up a couple times, to be close enough in level for the game to generously allow me to actually hit my opponent, and then I could finally hit the boss and killed it, and then another few hours later. So I was about 75 hours into the game at this point. I reach another boss after a excruciating part of the game.
That I can agree with.
Once again, I cannot hit the boss, and that is when I quit the game.
No,
75 hours in.
That's
because it is terrible.
Right there.
I now have this mental image of Zarkov in like a sort of cartoon trope, where he has an angel on his shoulder telling him play Xenoblade Chronicles, and then there's a demon on his shoulder yelling in his ear, "Don't play it, don't play it."
That's a slide for the D-cut.
Yeah, I was gonna say right there.
It is not worth it.
It is worth it.
Good night,
Also,
Jarm0u.
I expected your answer to the D-Gen question to be your 999 speedrun.
Okay, that's definitely up there. Yes. So I can elaborate on this point.
No spoils. I'm playing it right now.
What, 999?
Yes.
Oh my! Why didn't you tell me this? It's the best game of all time.
Well,
So Goomba said the
debatable.
opposite. So here we go
I
again.
haven't even heard of it.
Goomba is an idiot. He's
We
wrong.
didn't say the opposite though.
I didn't say the
Not
opposite.
quite.
I just
No.
say it's not as good as you make it out to be.
Nah, it's sick. It's sick, and I'll tell you why.
No,
No,
don't
you
tell
won't.
me
No,
why.
no. On a very
No,
on
we're
a
running
very
out
high
of
level.
time. Oh man,
we're not-
oh,
there
this
is no
timer
timer
for the
here.
recording. Thank
No,
you
no.
guys so much for listening
I don't
to
care
the
if this is
Karthritis
recorded or not.
podcast.
Real?
I
This
will
has
continue
been
talking.
Goomba to
Look,
get.
on the flip side, this
Did you hear what Patrick had to say? He said he'd sooner play Aiden than cannon fodder again.
oh yeah,
Which is fantastic.
I was
That's-
quite proud of that.
that's Aiden rerun confirmed right there.
Well played, Zarkov. That's all I can
Yes.
say. Well,
Absolute
Yeah.
props for cannon fodder.
I had no idea it was going to be as bad as it was. I had to send him that medal.
so from now on, Patrick will sabotage all your CDM scores, but you will get free beers from all of us.
Yeah,
I still
A
think you're coming out
worthwhile
on top.
trade. Yes.
worth it.
Well, I think with that we have
we have
gone
answered
quite a
3
lot of-
questions.
quite a lot of
Yeah.
answers.
Do you have one more question?
No,
Zarkov?
no, I don't allow it.
Sarboozer?
No.
This was a really complainy episode, wasn't it?
I realize you forgot something.
A little whiny, yeah.
You forgot to do the intro.
No.
Oh, yes, that's true. It's quick time for the intro. Hello,
Okay.
people of Earth. My name is Goomba, and I am wearing nothing. That's the end.
All right, you took it one step further. I get it.
Yeah,
I
you're
respect that.
one conquering. It's time to step it up. All right. Well, that's it. That's the end of the show. Is there music at the end of the show? I don't remember. I think it just ends, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, you just... Yeah, you just
Oh, doesn't it? Okay. Well, whatever. Bye.